All right, we are back from the break, and the party has arrived at the Goblin Port of Gorolgak's Rest, and you've gotten some rest, so you've had a bit of time to change your spells around. And there was some talk about who was going to go into town to make the purchases and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and focus on that. Who is going to go?
Braxon's going.
All right.
Solas is staying on the ship.
So was Lafdul.
All right.
So's Finn.
Okay.
Ockar, you coming?
I think he said last time that he would.
Yeah,
Right,
he did
before
say
the break.
last time he would.
And Leva, you're going?
Yes.
Okay.
I said that before, didn't I? Maybe
Oh, it
too quiet.
depends whether or not the bat pieces disagreed with you overnight.
No, they didn't. But Leva casts strength on Braxon.
Oh. Not Bat's Grace.
Oh, no. The poor man's version of cat's grace.
All right, go ahead and roll 1d8, please. Braxon?
Yep. Oh.
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, it's just Roll20 is giving me all it's terrible rolls today.
It happens.
If,
Right,
Leva,
So you're
if Leva-
17 now.
if Leva is going to use Hat of Disguise to disguise herself for the town visit, Solas can give her some aftershave or something to disguise her smell if she changes into a male.
So is he on
After save.
17?
Yes, Braxon.
Oh, I am going to help Solas disguise his half-elf to be more human.
Solas is staying on the ship.
Yeah,
is
I'm
he?
staying
Oh,
on the
never
ship.
mind.
Ockar, you are going into town, correct?
Yeah, I'm coming along too.
Okay.
Taking Beowulf.
Yeah.
Ooh, big scary direwolf.
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Okay. Is there anything anyone else wants to do before going into town?
Can't think of anything.
Normally I would cast
Oh,
new customs, but Lafdul
right.
doesn't want to know the customs of goblins.
He doesn't. Oh, okay.
Well, you're not going
Yeah,
with
she
them.
does.
You're not going with the rest of the party anyway, so.
Yeah.
Braxon will ask the others if there's anything they need.
I mean, you can do like again. You can check out some shops to see if there's any of the spell components that you weren't able to get before, but you don't need to detail out what those are right now.
Yeah, just see if there's any spell component shops, and maybe I might be interested.
Okay. We'll do that.
Okay. All right. Where do you want to go first?
I don't know where we were planning on going apart from
Buying
looking-
that ring. That was
Magic
interesting,
ring.
wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think we're gonna go see the arcane.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's worth Braxon taking his broken spyglass. I don't know if the arcane fixed spyglasses.
I mean, there's other than the fact that you got to carry it, there's no harm in doing
Yeah.
so. if
You might
wanna
be able to get a
ask.
trade in.
Yeah. I don't know if Braxon would have had a case for that.
I think you would.
Yeah.
I think you
All right. He'll take it in the case then.
would. Okay. All right.
And he'll
So
probably take the broken bits of the lens in case they need that to know what sort of lens it is.
okay, that's fine. You collected at least as many as you could.
Yeah.
That is reasonable. All right, so you make your way to the arcane docks. So they have a shipyard there. It's not a particularly large one. It looks like they could only build one ship at a time.
Mhm.
And there is a tri-up under construction.
Oh. Has Braxton seen a tryout before?
Yes, you are. It's a relatively new design, so you don't know much about it. But the Arcane have been definitely like marketing it.
Yeah.
So that's under construction. It's still in the early stages, though, so not much. But you can tell by the carapace of it itself, what it is. And there's a number of large warehouses. This facility is definitely larger than the other one. And you make your way to the main entrance and are greeted by some rastipedes. Who go ahead and add, like they do the usual to find, pardon me, questions to find out what you're in the market for, and also try to push, various magical items that they have for sale and ship hulls, helms, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. I suppose Braxon would listen to that, see if there's anything they've got that's useful.
It's pretty standard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like magical ships, weapons, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The counter vendor swarm was at another port, wasn't it?
Yes, that is at the Hobgoblin port.
Mm.
Yeah, I suppose that would be worth having.
So they've gone through their spiel.
Yeah. Well, Braxon will ask Lever to tell them that we got told by their contact. Let's see, what was his name?
Well, their representative.
Yeah, we got told by their representative in the last port that they had a magical ring that allows people to speak to people.
The recipe that you're speaking with, which is named Ixsec, says, yes, I believe we do have one of those in stock. Please come with me and wait here, and I will go check the storeroom. So you're kind of led into a bit of a waiting area. There's an ogre there already. Looks very, very bored. Kind of eyes you up as you are led into the waiting room.
Braxton's going to nod to the ogre.
Kind of like grunts at you and then ignores you after that.
Yeah.
After a few minutes, another Rastapede comes in and starts speaking to the ogre in a language none of you understand, and they proceed to leave the room. Another 15 minutes later, the Rastapede Ixsec comes back out with a small, hinged box. Opens it up, and there is in fact a ring on some velvet lining. And let's see.
I swear Levercast they're not there on the ring.
Okay. So this ring is gold. And it has it's like a signet ring. So rather than having a gem or something like that, it has a carved stone, a flat carved stone at the top of the ring that is in the shape of a striped fish of some sort. It's well crafted, but you certainly don't recognize what type of fish it is. And he says, Yes, this ring should allow you to converse with many others in various languages.
Excellent. And how much money do I need to bring?
This one we sell for 8,000 gold pieces.
8,000 gold pieces. No. Okay.
Leva asks him, does that mean you have others?
This is the only one that we have in stock right now. We occasionally get similar rings in, but this is the only one that we have in stock, and I do not believe any of the other facilities in this sphere currently have one.
Mm-hmm. And which languages does it translate?
Oh, it is quite flexible on that. As long as someone nearby speaks a language, this ring will allow you to speak that language yourself.
Oh, nice.
But I must warn you, if you get it close to another ring of the same sort, they will cease to function for a time.
Leva translates that for Braxon.
Right. Just checking through my money to make sure I've got enough.
It sounds very useful.
Indeed, indeed. With as many different peoples as there are in this sphere, we do have some demand for these items. I would recommend, if you are interested, purchasing it now. I cannot say how long it'll stay in stock.
Leva tells Braxon that she'll help him if he doesn't have enough money.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've got more than 8,000. All right. Braxon says I'll arrange for the money to be brought over. I also have a spyglass that's been damaged. Is that something that you could repair?
Well, it is not usually something that we handle, but glasswork is certainly something that comes into ship construction. We do have facilities here for that. Would you mind leaving it with me for a day, and I can investigate the possibility? You will, of
Okay.
course, be able to retrieve it tomorrow, if regardless of whether you choose to get it repaired or whether we can do it or not.
Yes, that sounds good. Braxton will hand over his spyglass in the case, and they'll show them where the broken bits of glass are. I'm sure he'll have wrapped them up in something.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, we will take a look at it and see what we can do.
Right, so I suppose Braxton's got to go back and get 8,000 gold pieces. What would that be in? Like a barrel or something?
Several pouches.
I mean, if you have, you don't. It doesn't have to be all in gold pieces. You can use platinum pieces.
Yeah, I've got
Stuff
some
like
platinum
that.
pieces.
Use copper pieces.
And you could always you can always put 5,000 gold pieces into the ship stores and take one of the gems that Lafdul just cut.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Would the ship want gold pieces though?
The ship, yeah, probably, because we can pay crew with the gold, so it's fine doing that if you want to do that.
Would they take the gem though? Because normally there's
Yeah,
a
it's a
markdown.
5,000 gold piece gem.
Yeah, but then normally there's a markdown on taking
I'll
gems.
ask them then.
Yeah. Well, Braxton will ask if they like gems or if they want gold pieces.
We will need to examine the gem, but we can certainly come to an arrangement if you
Okay.
wish to include a gem in the payment.
Okay. Yeah, Braxton will take a gem if Lafdul wants to offload his gems, and so they're the ship's gems.
Not really, but you know, it's a ship treasure, not mine.
I mean, you can get some gift to carry a crate or a chest with you full of coins too, if you want. Like,
Yeah,
it's fine.
I think Braxton might just do that.
All right. Okay.
And
Yeah.
I
So
think
you can basically immediately go back to the ship, get the money,
Yeah.
and come back here and buy
Yeah,
it.
I think he would do because then he can start understanding people.
All right. Okay. So you're gonna just go ahead and purchase that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not forgery.
That is a Ring of Tongues,
You know when you put it on if it works or not.
and I will give you a handout after the game session.
Okay.
Since you are purchasing the item, you do know the capabilities of it.
I'm kind of disappointed that it's not a tongue. That would have been funnier than a ring with a fish on. Oh, is it a Babel fish?
I mean, that may have been what was in my mind when I described it. Now, if you want to
It's
write
got
down
to
the
be-
description, you better write it down right now, because I have not written it down.
Okay.
'Cause it
Yeah,
doesn't
ring
matter.
of tongues.
When you have the magic item, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
All right, so you do make the purchase, and you do try the ring on. Or are you going to try the ring on?
Yeah, Braxton put the ring straight on,
Okay.
and he'll ask.
You got
Yeah.
a spare ring slot, I assume.
Well, he can take another ring off.
What are you taking off then?
Well, he's got a ring of. He wears a ring of protection most of the time.
You got the ring of warmth and the ring of protection, so yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't need a ring of warmth. He'll take that off.
Suddenly he starts freezing. That's for no reason.
No, that's not true.
It's now a cursed ring that he has to wear all the time.
Is your armor magical, or are you wearing non-magical armor?
It is magical.
Okay.
Someone calculating the AC wrong.
So then keep in mind that your ring of protection was only giving you a bonus to saving throws.
Oh, right. Okay.
So just FYI.
I've got. Oh, yeah, I've got +1 AC. Oh, so it doesn't work if you're wearing armor.
The armor class bonus does not work if you're wearing magical armor.
Right. No, that's cool. That just means he gets a bonus if he jumps out of bed and runs out without putting his armor on.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
To help you.
Yeah.
If you wanted, if
Thanks.
that makes a difference on what you what ring you take off.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, so it's only +1 to saving throws. I don't think it. Well, like, who's going to freeze him to death? I think he'll take off the ring of warmth.
All right, that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. So you do have to concentrate and choose a language. So it doesn't like just automatically start translating everything around you. You can understand everything perfectly.
Okay, he will ask Leva, because he trusts her, to talk in a language he doesn't know. He'll say, "What's that language you've been using to talk to people? Did you call it a trade tongue?
Illicit trade tongue.
Maybe.
She talks to him with a few sentences like that.
All right.
So does Braxton have to know the name of the language?
No. But you do, like, as she starts speaking, yeah, you concentrate briefly and begin to understand exactly what she's saying. It's not such a thing, like, it's essentially an instantaneous thing in that if someone starts speaking to you in a language you don't understand, you won't miss anything, like the
Okay.
first part.
Yeah.
But if someone isn't speaking to you and you're trying to eavesdrop, then you may miss the first part.
I see. Yeah. So Braxton will try talking back to her to see whether he can talk in the language.
And let's see. Yes, that does allow you to speak back. It does not
Braxton.
hide an accent, but
Yeah, I
it
was going to
is
say
perfectly clear.
Yeah, so Braxton says, "Do I sound like I'm a native speaker?"
Well, says Leva, yeah, as much as somebody can sound who is not an illithid.
That's
So I
a
sound like
that's a language that's a little bit because it's not a native language to anyone. It's always going to be a secondary language.
right.
There's no like that one in particular is not one that you'd be able to say, do I sound like a native speaker? But no, it does not make you sound like a native speaker. But it is always perfectly clear.
Although I didn't say he sounded high, she said he doesn't sound quite like an illithid would sound.
Okay, so I sound like Dick Van Dyke pretending to be an illithid.
A bit better than that.
So the point is that you can't pass for a race by using this, but you can
Yeah.
speak and be understood.
Right.
That's the point. Yeah. So there you go.
But Leva also tells him that he might be better off, Braxon might be better off talking to people in their own language. It would be a much more fluent conversation.
Hmm. Right. Well, that's good because a couple of us can go out now, and maybe I can lend it to other people if someone wants to go out without us.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, that will lower the burden on you.
Mm-hmm.
Should we see if there's Braxon has switched back to one of their own languages? And say, perhaps there's some stuff you might want to buy in the shops. Do you want to have a look?
Yes.
Magical components, that sort of thing.
Didn't we get the shopping list anyway?
I don't think we did, but we'll have a look and see what they got in the shop.
Okay.
Just to
What
see
do they have
whether or
The
not.
shopping list.
Old?
There was some
Oh.
over talking. I don't know what was just asked.
Whether we have a shopping list and what do we find in the shops?
Well, that's up to the people who aren't coming, who didn't come, whether they gave you a shopping list.
I don't think
I
they did.
was just mainly curious to see if there were shops that were selling stuff, though.
Solas
mean,
gave
Lafdul
shopping
won't-
list, but
Yeah, please don't start talking when someone else is talking. Lafdul,
Sorry.
finish up.
Just whether or not they had any paper for sale, that was all.
Okay.
Well, quality paper.
All right, Solas.
Solas did give shopping list, but as Old said, the contents of that shopping list can be gone through later.
Okay, so yes, you do have a shopping list then.
Okay. So what can we find in the shops?
Well, it depends on what you want. Like where do you want to start with? There's and you probably want to ask around to find out, where people recommend you go as well. There's tons of shops, but as with any kind of place like this, there's going to be the normal average ones, and then there's going to be if you want the best selection, you go here kind of thing. And what goods are you looking for first?
Braxon might also be wanting to look for any charts of crystal spheres nearby. We got a list of names of the places that might be useful for getting out, so yeah, look for that sort of stuff at some point. I guess we'll have trouble reading that stuff.
No.
We want paper, and you might need some magical components. Oh, have you got enough of those little? Have you got enough of those wires and things?
Yes, because Ockar had mentioned that he had bought stuff, so Leva could actually do the sending.
Yeah, I've got several sets that I can use to make use of any equipment.
And Leva bought some on her own in the last port.
Yeah.
But I also had the tools to actually craft you the cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need to, you can just get the materials and bring it to me, and I can fashion some out for you.
And he does
Thank
have
you.
enough materials for I think 10 castings. I think.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah. So, unless you wanted more than 10 right now, you've got enough on hand on the ship.
Yes, and Lever has herself. Let's see, she got 4. No, she got 8. She commissioned 4 for one day and 4 for the next day.
All right. Well, so basically, where do you guys want to look first? Braxon, did you want to try to look around for charts, navigational aids, that kind of thing first?
Yeah.
Okay. So you do find a shop near the docks, and as you're moving about the dock area in particular, but the like all the streets, they're very windy. They're not like this town is not laid out in a grid plan. The streets are very, very windy and unusual in their angles and directions, and they're all bustling. Like this is a crowded city,
Hmm.
and
Does it sound with that ring? Does the noise from the people sound confusing?
no, because the ring doesn't do anything in that regard. You have to choose a person and a language that you're gaining. It doesn't just automatically translate everything.
Right.
Once
So
he's
if
got a
like if two people are talking in different languages to you, you choose the one that you want to understand at the time.
Yeah.
You can't understand them both at the same time.
hypothetical,
Mhm.
if he's walking down the street and he overhears Goblin and obviously he picks up the language of Goblin, could he carry on walking down the street while maintaining that language knowledge
Do you want to try that, Braxon?
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Braxton will try.
see, how long you can hold on to it for and stuff?
No, it does stop working after a short period. And you would realize that it's about 30 feet. As soon as you got about 30 feet away from the person that you chose as the target, it stopped working.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you're gaining the knowledge of the language from that person.
Yeah. So you're also realizing that this will not translate something that no one knows. So in other words, like if there were a recording, let's say, or a magical
Right.
sending in another language, some sort of magic projects a language to you, and no one within 30 feet understands that language,
Yeah.
you will not be able to translate it.
Braxton says to Lever, I think I'm possibly understanding what people are saying from their head rather than from their mouth.
You mean people or just one person? Or
Yeah.
how does that work?
Well, when you spoke to, well, it's just when I'm hearing things from a long way away, I can't work out what they are.
Hmm.
And I think maybe when you spoke to me, the ring translated not your thoughts. I don't think it was telling me your thoughts, but I think the ring somehow used your mind to explain to me what the words were. I'm not quite sure yet.
Yeah, don't
Maybe I'll never know.
don't overthink how it works.
Yeah, maybe I'll never know. Doesn't
Well,
really
I
matter.
mean, the point is that like it's magic. It's based on the fact that someone else knows it, but it's not taking the knowledge from them and giving it to you, kind of thing,
Yeah,
or transmitting it in any
Braxton,
way. Because that would mean that some spells would block it, and that there's no indication that it does that.
that's true.
However, one
Braxton.
other thing that I would add, sorry, Leva,
No.
I'll let you go in a second. One other thing that you've noticed is that when you did that with that one goblin that was walking by,
Mhm.
you were able to read some of the signs that were written in Goblin at the same time, and you think you could
Oh
have
wow,
you could have written it too.
wow.
Nice. That's a nice
And
one.
then when the goblin gets away, he can't read anymore.
Yep.
What do you mean he? You can't read anymore.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
So Braxton, how fast can you switch between languages?
I don't
So
know.
let me stand in the middle of the road and just talk to myself and listen. They can.
I don't think like if it comes up, then I'll figure that out. But
Yeah.
it's going to be good enough to handle translating with someone speaking to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Braxton says I don't want to give myself a headache with this thing.
Okay.
but I could almost read the signs for a while. So does Braxon have to hear a goblin talking? Braxton's going to see whether a goblin's talking, and then see if he can start reading the signs again.
So you're choosing a goblin that's not talking. Is that what you said?
No, he's choosing any goblin that's nearby.
Right. One that is or is not talking.
Probably one that is talking.
Okay. Then yeah, you can read a sign goblin. Like there's two goblins having a conversation with each other, and you're able to understand the language, and at the same time you can read the signs around you.
Right. And then when the goblin stops talking, does he stop having the ability to read?
No. Like when he stops talking for the other person to respond, no.
Yeah. Okay.
And as long as and when you understand the language, like when you can understand Goblin, you can understand anyone who's speaking within 30 feet of you, that language.
Right.
Which it would sound like, if you're walking down a crowded street and everyone is speaking English, then it sounds like that, and you have to focus on the one person that you're trying to listen to, kind of thing, and everything else is just kind of background noise. But you can pick up words and understand it. So it's not like you can only understand this one person speaking Goblin. You can just understand the language Goblin, but they have to understand it too.
All right, Braxton's going to try to see if he can carry on concentrating enough on the goblin to read the signs out to Lever, but not in Goblin.
Yeah. No, you can translate easily.
Okay, because he didn't know whether he had to only use Goblin.
Yeah. Basically, it would be the same way as it's the same thing as if you could speak the language natively.
Yeah. Okay, so Braxton's going to start telling Lever what the signs on the shop say, if indeed they have words, and they're not just a big fish or that sort of thing.
I mean, there definitely are ones that don't have any words, but there are some that do have words. So yeah, you can do that, and you can when you're just traveling down the street, all you need to do is just every 10 feet choose a new goblin, and only if one of them couldn't speak Goblin, which in this situation is not the case, would that prevent you from reading the signs. So basically, while you're walking down the street in a town full of native speakers, you can just always read the signs if you're making that point.
Try it on a child to see if it's their understanding of the language or if it's an automatic thing.
It's just an automatic thing. I'll just tell you right now. It's just an automatic thing.
I don't know that Braxton thought about it that much.
It's again, don't go into it too deeply.
Yeah.
There isn't a need to go into it too deeply.
No, that's okay. I just thought, Braxton's thinking about how this works, but I don't think he'd go into that deep.
Right.
Right.
One other thing that you would come to a realization about the ring is that you think that as long as you have the capability of learning a language, and there is someone reasonably close by for an extended period of time, you can easily learn a language that you do not know.
Right.
In other words, if you have an available language slot or a spare proficiency slot, you can learn a language in half the normal time.
Braxton's going to say to Lever, I think if we hire a crewman or a guide, I might be able to learn their language so that I can speak without the ring.
Lever looks at the ring and says, do you think I could lend it at some point for a new language?
Borrow it, yeah. I don't see why not. What language are you going to learn?
I don't know yet.
Well, if we're going to be stuck in this place for a while, we might need to start learning languages. I don't know what would be the best one, though.
Well, kobold or goblin?
Yeah. I don't know whether goblins are more important than kobolds in the local, in the local pecking order.
Goblin is the lingua franca of the sphere. You would have learned that already.
Yeah. So goblin would be better.
Because hobgoblins speak goblin. They both speak the same language.
Ah, I see.
Well, many of them speak the illicit trade tongue. Not that Leva would have any more free slots for languages.
Okay, maybe I'm going to try and learn goblin, but we might need to. I don't know how long it will take me to learn.
Well, ask yourself, once we get out of here, how much use will you have for goblin?
Well, from what we've heard, our way back to civilization will either be through illithid spheres or spheres with goblins and other humanoids. So,
Yes, but after we are past those.
well, yeah, but it'll get us out of a jam. And we don't necessarily need to fight every goblin we meet in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, it might be useful. Might be able to negotiate peace or something. I'll have to think on it. Right, let's see what signs we've got for shops.
All right, so you do go to a shop that's clearly sells navigation equipment and other sorts of like the smaller ship equipment, not like sailcloth and rope and stuff like that, but sextants and other things of that nature. And you ask to see what Phlogiston River charts they have.
Yeah.
They do have a few, and they do lead to spheres that you've heard of already.
Oh.
None of the one, but
Oh, you mean the ones we've heard of that are local to here?
yes, yeah. Sorry,
Right.
yeah. The ones that are nearby that you've heard of, not ones that you were actually familiar with before you arrived in this sphere. But if you chose to go to one of those, you could purchase a chart here. They're generally somewhere between 300 and 600 gold pieces, depending on the complexity of the route and how common it is that someone would want to go there.
Right. Have I spent all my money, though?
Well, I mean, you should wait until you decide to go to one of those before you purchase one.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no reason to buy all these if you're not going to go to any of them.
No.
But there isn't any two spheres that you haven't heard of.
Right. So we've not got any new clues.
Correct.
So it sounds like we would have to go somewhere else and see if they know anything.
Or it's just not something that you're just going to go into a store and buy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So asking around for other stores, you are directed to a few, depending on what you want. The ones that come most highly regarded, there's a hobgoblin who runs a weapons and armor shop. His name is Kirtok, and he's considered the best smith in the city, and he's known to make equipment for like the ogres and troglodytes, even occasionally, other races that aren't common to this city itself.
Mm-hmm.
Which you've noticed there, walking the streets, there's a pretty good number of hobgoblins, kobolds, even bugbears and ogres, and other races. It's fairly cosmopolitan. Most are goblins, but even more so than the kobold port. There are other races walking the streets too. There's an occasional giant, some troglodytes you've seen, an illithid or two, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't suppose they'll have much armor and equipment for humans and elves and that sort of thing.
Hobgoblin and human forms aren't that different.
Right.
He could easily make something for a human. Again, you might want to be careful about requesting armor or equipment made for elves or dwarves.
Yeah, Braxon might be doing that.
So that's for weapons and armor. You can visit the temples. You learn about some of the temples. There are 3 major temples. The Arena of Meditation, which you saw coming in, that's actually a temple.
Oh, right, okay.
And that's where, like, so you also kind of learn by talking that the major way of solving disputes is through a duel. Either a duel to, like, first blood, first touch, or death for the most severe things.
Yeah,
so
depending on how upset you are with someone.
Or what sort of dispute it is, because it wouldn't just be, it would be like, where is the property line between our two our two properties? I say it's here. I say it's there. All right, work it out between you two. Oh, you can't work it out? All right, well, let's go have a duel to the first blood kind of thing,
Yeah.
So you learn that, and that's one of the the major duels, like especially between the high-ranking people in the various clans here. They will end up being done there, and they turn into spectacles that people come to watch. And the arena also has like some paid gladiators and stuff like that as well that they fight. You haven't seen, like, that's over on another part of the city though, so you haven't really seen it since you came in. But they would sell some priestly spell components if you needed. You also learn about the Goblin Fire Halls and the Vault of Chains, which are 2 other temples that you could try to purchase priestly spell components at those places as well.
Mm-hmm.
Margoth's Medicines is the apothecary, and she comes highly recommended for those who wish to get herbs or other things of that nature. And she does have some. She does get some shipments from out of sphere apparently. So if you need some things from out of sphere, that's a good place to go.
Maybe we can ask her what sphere she gets things from.
And lastly, there's also a money changer here.
Right.
They issue trade bars, and they'll do money changing if you needed to.
Yeah.
You might not be able to change Krinish coinage though.
Yeah, I'm guessing we'll be stuck with that, but that's fine.
That might be a little bit out of their wheelhouse. But if you wanted to easily change in trade bars or get trade bars or something like that, you can do it there.
Yeah. Okay. How much is this sheet of paper that Lafdul was after?
Lafdul, what kind of quality were you looking for in that?
Spellbook quality. It's
Okay.
basically the highest quality you can get.
Probably 4 gold pieces a sheet.
Oh, they sell it.
Yep.
And he just wanted one.
Probably like 5. Just so I'd know I have several.
I think Braxon could spend 20
No,
gold
I can-
pieces.
Yeah, I can pay you back once you come back to the ship. I'll give you the money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it would be a case of, yeah, I mean, the person who requested the item would deduct it rather than
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah. What I mean is, I think that's little enough money that Braxton could buy it and carry the pieces of paper.
Yes, definitely.
So Braxton gives me scrumpled up paper. I was like, I can't use this. He's scrumpled.
After all, well, he has got 17 strength, so I think he can carry a few pieces of paper.
Maybe. I don't know. I might be pushing it with only a 17 strength.
It's like Solas trying to carry his brand new book. He has to take a few pages out.
Let me check something about paper making. And I think Spells and Magic has a glassworking proficiency, so.
I doubt I'm going to do it this session anyway, but we've got like several more days of gem going.
I mean, basically, the PHP price for paper reduced that by 50%, and that's what Solas can make based on the materials, so.
Yeah, but he's kind of busy at the moment, so.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that. In the future. Alright, so how many pieces of paper were you going to get?
5.
Okay. Because remember, the priests here make scrolls too, like occasionally. So
That's why I thought to buy some.
all right,
They just write 5 pieces of high quality paper or just regular paper.
yeah, that's fine.
5 high quality. All right, scroll making paper.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, so Braxon, Ockar, and Leva, where do you want to go next? Like you would have gone to a paper making place for that.
I didn't really have any plans in mind. I just wanted to follow the others in case something happened while we were down here.
Okay, and you were taking Beowulf with you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it hasn't caused any incidents, but there is definitely an element of, the goblins and hobgoblins are impressed by Beowulf's presence. It makes moving around very easy because they tend to give you not like a fear birth, but a respectable birth.
Okay.
It's like you got renown.
The fact that you have a wolf with you is quite impressive to them.
That's good. I make sure to give. I make sure that. Yeah, I can't think of any way to make him even look any cooler. So let's keep going.
Fair enough. All right. Braxon, Leva, where do you guys want to go?
How are we off? Are there? I wouldn't say gems. Yeah, well, there are gems. Just a moment, I need to.
There would definitely be gem shops and jeweler shops.
Because Leva is interested in getting the gems she needs for the different potions.
Okay.
That means agate, amber. I take it these diamonds can't be substituted with these, correct?
No. This is for the giant strength potions?
Mm-hmm. So she would need agate, amber.
You would not be able to get amber here.
No amber?
No amber.
Okay. Basalt. There should be basalt if we are underground.
I don't know that basalt would be sold, but basalt was easy to come by, although I don't think it's terribly common. It would be I mean, like, the problem with basalt here is that it's a igneous rock, and this is kind of the sphere is kind of a solid mass of stone. And I didn't actually think about whether there might be, like, rivers of magma and stuff like that. And the other problem is that it's not exactly, like, it's not a common building material. It's certainly not a gem. It's the kind of thing that you'd go to some place that has that sort of stone around. So I don't know that you'd be able to just go into a shop and buy basalt here.
Okay.
You can probably find basalt in the sphere somewhere, but you'd need to talk to miners.
I'll make a note of that. Then she's also looking for cloud marble, which she thinks probably won't be available here.
Probably not.
What else do we have? Granite.
Well,
Granite is not a gem, not a special stone anyway.
no, but granite is common. Yeah, so gems you can get here easily. Granite, you'd again be getting, like, a shop would be selling building quality granite, and you just need granite of a certain volume essentially. And granite's easy to come by. It's everywhere.
Okay. What about snowflake obsidian?
I'll say that's available. Yeah.
So, how much would that cost? I don't even know how much she needs.
Did I not say what the value is on those?
No, I have because Leva has only found out what she needs. She doesn't even know how much.
All right, give me a second.
I have a list. What I need. Sorry, I have a list of what she needs for the different types of potions, but there's no price or anything there. Except for the sculpts. She had the price for that.
All right, I'm gonna say for a gem. Yeah, for a gem, it would. It's more about the volume than the value. No, it isn't cloud marble. It's marble for cloud giant strength. So it's just marble, just regular marble.
Okay.
Snowflake obsidian and agate. I would say that you need 200 gold pieces worth of stone per potion.
200 per potion.
Yeah.
That was
That's only for agate and snowflake obsidian, because the others are. Amber would probably be more. That would probably be 500 to get the same amount.
Is that probably also?
That is a yes. Yeah, you need 500 gold pieces worth of amber.
I have 1 pound of obsidian, snowflake obsidian.
Okay, then that would probably get you 4 potions, I'll say.
That was what? 1 pound?
Yeah.
1 pound of. I have 1 pound of regular, 1 pound of snowflake, and 1 pound of rainbow obsidian.
You don't need the snowflake?
I can be willing to part it if you recoup the cost that I made for purchase.
Yeah, you can discuss that later.
1 pound would be 4 potions.
Yeah, so 1 pound of granite, 1 pound of basalt, 1 pound of marble would get you 4 potions worth.
No, I just need to know if then I can calculate the pricing, the proper pricing for whatever. Thank you.
Yeah, again, most of that it's going to be like you could get fragments of marble from a marble sculptor, for example. And as
Mm-hmm.
long as it's a pound worth, or basically, like a quarter pound worth, then that's enough for the potion.
Okay.
Which, and that's why for any of the building material type stuff, or just stone that you can go out and find, it's a little bit hard to value it.
All right.
But for the gems, I'll say 200 gold pieces worth to get the right volume of those
Okay.
lower quality, and 500 for the amber.
Okay.
All right.
Good. Thank you.
And you can get agate and snowflake obsidian here, if you wanted.
Yes, she would want
All right.
200. 200. Oh my God. Did you say it's agate and?
Agate and snowflake obsidian, 200 gold pieces per potion.
Right. So she would take, let's say, 2 for 2 potions.
Yeah, that's fine. Just make the notes down, deduct the cost. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else you want to do in the town?
The one thing I can think of is Ockar was quite interested in that contract, which Braxon wasn't so interested in, of that thing with the other illithids. Could we maybe get a bit more information on that?
Probably not here. You're far away from the Illithids, the Illithid
Right.
nations at this point.
Oh, so the contract was with the illithids, not with the arcane.
Oh, no, right. No, yeah, sorry, I was thinking of something else. Yeah, if you wanted to go speak to the Rastipedes about that,
Yeah, Braxton have a quick chat with Lever first and say, I've had a thought. Remember I was saying if we could find slaves that were races we know, they'd be possibly able to help us, and people were saying they wouldn't want me buying slaves under any circumstances. I'm wondering if this attack on the illithids might allow us to liberate some slaves. So maybe there could be something in it for us other than money. Maybe we could rescue some people that could help us escape.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's worth us asking to find out if anything like that is included in the contract?
Lever doesn't actually know whether she wants to help you.
Okay, well, maybe she needs to decide whether she wants to help. I thought she
Okay,
liked rescuing slaves before. Right, go on.
Yes,
Just
but not
tell me what you're saying.
not buying slaves. She doesn't like buying slaves at
I
all.
know. Yes, I heard you saying that. I'm talking about the contract that was on offer that I thought wasn't really our fight. But if there's some illithids and there's a contract against the illithids, perhaps those illithids have slaves, and we can liberate those slaves. And if there's any useful slaves, we can offer them to come with us. And if they're not useful, we can just take them to the nearest port and let them off. What I'm saying is, what seemed to be just a thing for getting us money, which didn't seem to be helping us, might allow us to get some crew that we can trust, that we can talk to, that might know the way back.
Well, Lever is prepared to come with you to look whether there are any slaves that are obviously from outside the system. she doesn't really agree to do more than that.
No, he's not looking at going to a slave market.
Hmm.
He's at the moment he's looking at talking to the representatives of the Arcane
Okay.
to find out if, when they asked us to track down some Illithid ships that were selling helms, whether we could liberate slaves at the same time as doing that. So it's a different thing.
Okay.
Yeah? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think? Is it worth asking?
It's always worth asking. There is
Okay.
always
Let's go back to the Arcane then.
Okay. So you return to the Arcane facility and meet the Rastipede Ixek again.
Yeah.
Yes, how can I help you today? Have you come back for one of our fine magical devices or weapons?
We heard Braxton's going to look around, see if they're on their own or if there's other people.
You could ask for a private consulting.
Yeah, Braxton asked to go to a private consulting room.
All right.
So, sorry, I just looked at the chat. I'm being heckled. Braxton's not going to ask to buy any thieves. So Braxton, I say, we got told at our last port of call that you had a contract out against some Illithids that were selling helms without your permission.
I will need to check on that. I am not familiar with that offhand. I do not think that it would be considered a contract per se, but if you will hold on, I will go speak to my superiors.
Thank you very much.
So you end up waiting for a little bit, and it's about an hour later that the Rastipede returns.
Okay.
And he says, yes, there's some concern that there may be helms being sold by... give me a second, just a second. The Olothan Imperium has some sort of source for helms, and they are supplying them to the Fomorians and the troglodytes and other races at prices substantially below market value. We have little presence in their Imperium, and would like to eliminate that. So if you are interested in heading into their empire and determining how they are gaining these helms, where they're gaining these helms, and put a stop to it, we'd be more than happy to pay you for services.
Yeah. It might be something we're interested in, but it would obviously cause some risk to our ship.
That is understandable.
And our primary objective at the moment is to get out of this area and back to our home area in Wildspace. We actually come from a crystal sphere further from here, and we were thrown here in a cosmic storm. So it doesn't seem to be in our primary interest, and would just be a thing for making money. But I'm wondering if there are things that we might get out of it, like, for example, if we fought with the Illithids, would we be able to liberate any slaves they have?
Well, since the Imperium especially thrives on slavery,
I would imagine that facing any of their vessels or facilities would give you ample opportunity to free slaves. I could not say much more than that, however. If you will give me a few more moments, I will consult with my superiors again about the potential of information in addition to monetary payment.
Thank you.
And he's gone for another 20 minutes or so. When he returns, he says, yes, my superiors would be willing to give you some information that may lead you to spheres that you may be familiar with, in addition to the monetary payment. This would, of course, reduce the monetary payment that you get,
Mm-hmm.
and the monetary payment would be determined by how successful you are. If you just got information, that would be substantially less than if you were to disrupt their source altogether.
Yes. From my point of view, it's a kind of an undefined target. Would it be that if we took on this, you would give us further information about where we can go to look at things?
We would certainly be willing to give you some more information if you agreed to complete at least the gathering of information. If you are, we are not interested in people who are just considering this. However,
Yes.
we would need
Obviously.
a commitment.
Yes, obviously, I understand that. I'm just wondering what to go with, because we have a company. I have to consult my other shareholders in the company.
That is fine.
Do you know if this group of Illithids gathers in slaves from outside of this crystal sphere?
That we do not know.
Right. Okay. Because that would have been one of the factors that would have interested me personally.
I believe most of their slaves are goblinoids and mongrelmen.
Right. So there's a chance, but a low chance. But
I would not be. I would not be confident enough to say one way or the other.
Very well. And
Lever sort of goes, "Hey, Braxon.
Yeah.
We are not shareholders."
we all we're all members of the company.
He probably would have used a different term than that.
Okay.
I don't think it matters though.
I thought we all owned one share.
If you probably would have used something like comrades,
Partners.
compatriots, partners, maybe.
Yeah.
But something more indicating friends than anything else. But that's a digression. I don't think it matters.
Very well. Braxon talks to Lever and says, "You're our expert. Is there anything you think would be useful for you to ask about this group?"
I can't think of any more questions than you already asked.
Okay. Because you seem to be quite an expert in Illithids.
Well, she wants information, but she doesn't really think that asking the what are they called, the arcane, in your presence would be the right thing to do.
Oh. Would you like me to step out the room?
She doesn't tell you that, dummy.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
And she has never gotten any indication that the arcane wouldn't actually know anything about her at all.
Yeah. Braxon will say to the Racipede, if we do take on the job, are there contacts you know of that we could go to look for places where we could find information?
I do not have information on that at this time.
Okay. Very well. Thank you
I
very
do
much.
believe that there is more information that we could give you if you agree to complete this, but you have to understand that if you do not complete at least the basic tasks, that would not be looked upon well by the arcane.
I understand completely that you don't want to explain all the intricacies of the job unless we're taking it on. I'm just wondering how much help we've got in, how much of a needle in a haystack this is.
You're not sure about that. I mean, like one thing that you're definitely picking up is that they have some secret information, so they
Right.
would not be willing to give that out unless someone agrees. And you're also getting the impression that there would be a contract involved.
Yeah. Very well.
And it also sounds like going into this illithid kingdom, the Imperium, to figure this out, not just like land at a little tiny place and
Yeah.
kind of thing. So,
No, I understand that.
all right.
Okay. Braxon will thank him again for his time.
Yeah, thank you. If you would like any of the fine products we sell here, we're always happy to make some sales.
I suppose.
He'll do another quick spiel about some of the stuff that they're selling.
Yeah.
Portal locators, that sort of thing.
We've got one of those, haven't we?
Yes, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Which is why I mentioned it.
Well, I was going to ask what else, since you mentioned portable locators. What else?
I gotta go look up what the arcanes sell now. I mean, magical weapons.
I don't know. Leva would be more interested in something that would help magic users.
Yeah, I mean, he would not be mentioning stuff like that. That's all like either commission or go in and say, "Hey, do you have an item that does this thing specifically?" kind of thing. Because
Okay.
all of those are going to be like one items in stock at one of
Mhm.
these three places, if it's even going to be anywhere. Stuff that they all sell includes the standard arcane devices of helms, portal locators, magic weapons, ship equipment, that sort of thing.
Mhm. Okay.
So, I mean, most of what they sell is stuff to improve your ship.
Okay.
They've got magical chairs that make you lose your spells.
Yeah, Leva noticed that. She's not interested in one of those. She actually thinks that Braxon is doing a good job in keeping the ship up to date, so she doesn't need to worry about it.
Okay.
And half the stuff that's connected to the ship, she has no idea what it is.
Yeah. I suppose Braxton could check on the prices for. He probably hasn't got enough money now. But he could check on the prices for the ship weapons.
You give me a second. I am looking up some of the stuff right now.
You don't pay for the ship weapons out your own money anyway, so.
Right. We don't want to bankrupt the company either, do we?
They have they have planetary locators. They have passage devices, but passage devices are tailored to your ship, so they get very expensive the bigger your ship is. And in terms of magic weapons,
Can we not get a passage device for the dolphin shuttle and tow the battle dolphin through?
no.
Damn. My evil plan was foiled.
No, you can most certainly not. So magical ballistas run. Would you want a medium or a heavy? Like if you were just replacing your mediums,
It's 6,000 for +1, 12,000 for +2, and 24,000 for +3. Whether they have one that gives a bonus to the attack and damage is, or attack, or whether it's range, I would roll to see whether they have one of those. And I think it's similar prices for catapult, with it, give or take a few thousand.
Let's see the one on the one on the shuttle. We got a magical blister. I think that was
It's +2, but it's to range, not to attack.
Oh, to range, not to attack.
Yeah.
So we can get pluses to attack as well.
I would roll to see whether they have what they have in stock right now.
I see. I suppose we'll probably go. I don't know.
It's the same price whichever one they have, depending on the plus. But I mean, that one that you have, their selling price is 12,000.
Right. Do they have such a thing as a weapon that's faster to load?
No,
Right.
not of one of those types. No.
Okay.
Like if you wanted a weapon that's faster to load, you could get something like an accelerator.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
And they might have one, but it's 45,000 gold pieces.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't afford that. I suppose we would probably want to do the blisters first because they've got a faster rate of fire.
No, your catapults have a faster rate of fire.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I suppose we want to do the catapults first then.
Mediums are 7,000 for +1, 14,000 for +2, and 28,000 for +3.
So we could have a look at our finances and see if maybe we can have 2 +1s, or would that be a waste? Will we be better off getting a +2?
It's up to you guys.
All right, we'll come back to them on that then.
All right.
7,000 for +1 and what for +2?
14,000.
14,000 +2. So it seems like 14,000 would either get us 2 +1s or 1 +2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I need Jade around. Jade would do the maths and tell me which one would be best value for money in the long term. With these weird maths.
I don't think that you need someone else around. I was getting some pings from someone too.
Yeah, sorry, that's my cable dropping out my laptop,
Okay.
and it does an annoying noise when the battery is
Gotcha.
on.
Yeah,
or off.
no, yeah, gotcha. All right. Yeah. So I mean, you can. I mean, you already want to consult with the rest of the party on whether you want to do this mission or not.
Yeah. I think we'll go back and consult on that.
All right.
Unless Lever's got some places she wants to look at.
No. Nothing.
Okay.
Oh,
So you return to the ship.
Yeah.
And you can talk about this.
Yeah. We'll let the others know about. We've got a little bit more information about this job.
We also show off the ring, and we
Yeah.
tell them what we found and all the things that we encountered, and definitely what we found out about. Well, actually, Are you going to tell them everything that you encountered, that you found out about the ring?
Yeah, Braxon will explain it in vague terms because he doesn't really understand it all himself.
Okay.
Braxton's going to say, I think if if we were to have a goblin guide, I might be able to slowly learn the goblin language.
Does it have to be taught to you, or can you just absorb it by experiencing it and speaking it?
I'm not sure yet. I think I would have to talk to them a lot to figure that out.
So you just learn it by absorbing the knowledge.
I think so.
He just said he wasn't sure.
I think so,
Yeah,
but
that's what
I
it
don't know.
seems.
I don't know. I
guess.
think I would make a roll and would succeed or fail.
I think you would have to start trying it, and then you
Yeah.
determine what is actually necessary to do.
Braxon will also say it was also interesting because I seem to be able to read things. Oh, he'll go to Solas and say, "Hey, you're good at books. Let's find me some books in the library that are in languages I don't know."
Yeah, we got rid of those.
What do you mean you got rid of those?
You would not have
You
been
got
able to
rid
read.
of
You would not have been able to
Yeah,
read
I
the
know.
illithid
I'm
ones.
joking.
You got rid of the illithid ones. I'm not talking about those. But if someone talks to me in Elven, I might be able to read an Elven book. As long as I follow them around.
You don't speak Elven?
Braxon speaks Elven, but it doesn't mean he reads it, does it?
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
I don't know if we have Elven books. No, we do, because we had some Elven books from the Crown base research book.
Right.
So probably some of them.
Because I know Lever spent all your money buying books in common.
Yeah, that annoyed me.
Not that you're bitter or anything.
No, it took me. I had to learn a whole new language.
Well,
All right,
so did Leva.
Braxton.
For experimental purposes, Finn will start talking to Braxon in Dryad.
Okay, Braxton's going to concentrate and go, "Oh, that's an interesting language."
Yep, you can understand that. You don't have anything in written Dryad, so...
Yeah.
Have I heard Dryad or any of the Sylvan languages?
You've probably heard them, but that doesn't mean you... But,
yeah, I wouldn't know
You don't
them,
know.
but I recognize the Sylvan. Or
You wouldn't necessarily recognize which language, but you probably would recognize it as being some sort of...
Braxton will
Sylvan
reply
language.
to Finn and say, "This is a very interesting language. Is this the language? Is this the local language of Greyspace, or have you learned the language of bears or something?"
You would realize it's not a language of bears. You can
You're spoiling my fun.
you can still... It's not like you're speaking common and it just comes out differently.
It'd be like our sign or something.
You can understand and hear the differences in the language.
Right.
So it's not like you're suddenly going "Rawr, rawr, rawr, rawr," kind of thing.
Yeah, speak with Finn language. So.
It'd be more fun if it was the language of bears. Be like, "Got any fish? I like fish."
Although Finn knows the wood sprite language that I might want to learn off him at some point.
So Finn, Braxon did ask if it was the language of Greyspace.
So tempted, but I'll say no.
So Braxton says, "So it would appear I could learn this language from you if I try very hard."
Yeah, if you're ever interested in talking to Dryads.
Oh, a Dryad language. Very interesting. Dryads live in trees, don't they?
Usually.
So I could talk to trees to make sure they don't have Dryads in before I cut them down.
Oh my god.
You say this to a druid.
Yeah.
I can just hear the
I don't see
walk
I
through
don't
the
see
forest.
I don't see that the trees would respond to you though.
No, but if the tree has a dryad in it, I can make sure I don't. Like, if I need to cut down trees to fix a ship, I don't want to cut down a tree that's a treant or one that has a dryad living
It
in.
would start hitting you back.
I think that there's probably a pretty good chance that anything there might stop you before you cut it down.
Yeah. Okay.
Finn's just gonna mutter a few curse words in Treant and walk away.
Can Braxon understand Treant?
For that moment, yeah. Now,
He could reply.
since Finn was walking away from you,
Yeah.
he gets out of range before the first curse is finished.
Right.
Takes a really long time to talk in Treant.
So how much of it did Braxton actually understand?
He got enough to figure out that it's a curse.
Yeah. He was saying something about my mother's roots, and then he walked out of range. I think it was an insult. I don't know. Everyone seems to take things the wrong way, you know. Yeah, it was something about elderberry trees.
So, I mean, there's kind of other more pressing things that you wanted to discuss,
Yes,
too.
there are. There are. Right. So Braxton says, we found a place that was selling some charts of the spheres around this area. And now it would seem we can talk to people. Maybe we could go to somewhere and see if anyone has any jobs where we go to another sphere. Unless people want to really explore this idea of doing things for the Lithids in the hope that the Arcane will give us some information on how to get home. What do people think? Maybe I should send someone to get Finn to come back. Yeah, his opinion's probably relevant.
I think that he would have come back for this conversation. I think that would have you would have specifically gathered everyone to have this discussion.
Okay.
In my opinion, the most likely route we would get the answer would be either through the Arcane's quest or by finding those rare and knowledgeable beings on this sphere instead of just going to random neighboring spheres and hoping for the best.
Should
The
probably
rare and
visit. Sorry, carry on.
Or the rare and knowledgeable beings.
Yes, like that giant snail or that dragon.
Yeah, all the humans, all the human and manservant.
Do you know specific rare and knowledgeable beings that people have mentioned?
Yes, we were mentioned about the dragon and that giant snail that is supposed to be really
Right.
intelligent.
Yeah, the
And
elephant
knowledgeable.
traded that.
Right.
So we have more leads to discover here and follow through than just going through random spheres and hoping to find the best route there.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can try finding information about them.
And at least we know that there's friendly ports in this sphere. Next sphere we don't know anything about except that they are either goblinoid spheres or illithid spheres.
Yeah. Of the two, if we can't find any leads here, if we have to go, I'd probably be tempted to go to the goblinoid spheres.
Yeah, and I would say that those leaving this sphere would be once we have investigated the other venues here.
Right. So where are we likely to get information on where the powerful beings live?
Well, we got potentially a tavern crawl to do around here to see if anyone's even heard of these people. I mean, we can speak to them now for a lengthy period of time.
That's true.
question.
Question for me?
Yes.
Yeah?
These arcane, are they restricted to ships and helms, or do they actually collect information about lots of other things too?
The arcane are extraordinarily mysterious.
So would it be worth asking them questions of any subject?
I mean, they may be willing to sell information on other subjects, but like they're not known for being specifically information brokers. They do have information on occasion, but their main stock and trade is definitely ship equipment, weapons, that sort of thing, and ship
So,
hulls and helms and stuff.
so I don't know whether Leva would think that way, but I'm thinking that way. That would the arcane, in that particular case, know something about the history of different let's say, tribes, or something like the empires, the illicit empires, and stuff like that?
Well, I guess I mean, what information are you actually looking for? Like, what would
I'm
you
wondering
want to know?
after what after after Leva dismissed the arcane before, I came to thinking, well, maybe they do know something about the different illicit empires and stuff that had. I forgot the name. The empire that Leva was interested in and has to be interested in for her own story.
The out of sphere one?
Yes.
You're probably not going to get information out of Arcane in this sphere
Okay.
for that. Our Arcane may certainly know stuff, but they're not sages. And you would certainly have to be in a relevant sphere or have some other sort of relevant. There'd have to be some other sort of relevant connection for the arcane to have information for that.
Okay. Thank you.
So, like, they might have information about stuff going on in this sphere, but the arcane here are not going to have information about stuff going on in some other random sphere. Like, and you don't even know exactly what sphere that they're from. Like, you've heard of this empire, but you don't know what sphere they reside in. So that would make it even more difficult.
Okay.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. We also got mentioned by the illicit, and that was it Goblin Merchant Captain that we talked about those funny spheres or whatever they were entities.
I'm sorry?
The laughing things or singing things, I can't remember what they were.
Oh yeah, the singing spheres.
That might be also a source for information.
Oh yeah, singing spheres. They were like little celestial bodies, were they?
Something like that. I mean, Braxon, you've heard stories about these things, but you've never it's just like rumors and stories as opposed to anything else.
Is it a barber? Is it a Behold a Barber's Quartet?
No.
Oh, that's a shame. That because that would be quite good.
No. No. Just no.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got this completely different headcanon now.
Terrible. So yeah, I mean, what do you guys want to do?
Solas is okay accepting the Arcane's tasks.
Yes.
If nothing else, it does provide us favor with the Arcane.
Yeah. Well, Should we look around the taverns and see if there's any other jobs that we can find that might help us
Yeah, of course.
before we take it on? Because I'm thinking that once we take this on, we're committing to carry out at least the
You could
initial
also
stage.
find out information about the other people there as well while you're there. The sages. And
Yeah.
the human.
Yeah, and
Yeah, where are we going to go to get that sort of information? The arcane aunt's going to hand out the pub.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Tavern crawl.
All right.
You can speak the language. No.
You coming with us this time?
No, I'm getting gems. I'm making the company money. I'm not spending the company money.
Okay.
I mean, you can cut gems while you're traveling from place to place.
Lafdul just doesn't. He doesn't want to go in the Goblin town.
All right.
Yeah, but it's just you can make yourself invisible and talk to people in their heads.
No, that would be even more questionable. That would draw even more attention to me.
What? You being invisible would draw attention to you?
They would smell me for one thing.
Lafdul is just how should I say, very disliking of these goblinoid people.
Yeah. Do I need to tie one of my shirts around everyone's head or something?
No.
Well, it's just people seem to think that my unwashed shirts are some sort of magical talisman against being smelled.
Humans are like the moggies of like civilization. They get along with everyone. They're like the hodgepodge.
Well, get along with everyone is a statement one could make, I guess.
Yeah.
They're bedfellows with everyone, it seems. Elves less so.
Yeah, it's just we all need to get out of here.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's here, no there. If it doesn't happen, it was just a suggestion. I wasn't going to follow it through.
You say we do need to get out of here. Why?
Well, do you want to live here forever?
No, but is anyone in a real hurry?
No,
your
I
crew,
don't mean
if your crew got the impression that you're like, yeah, we don't really need to go home, your crew would mutiny. Guaranteed. They would absolutely mutiny.
Yeah. No, not talking about wanting to stay here, but
if your crew
wondering whether there's so much of a hurry.
If your crew felt that you weren't doing everything to reasonably get you out and back to Brawl Space in a reasonable amount of time, your crew would mutiny.
And I think if we take on the job for the Illithids, we will have to explain to the crew.
Not Illithids, Arcane.
All right, so if we take on the crew for the Arcane to investigate the Illithids, we would have to sell that to the crew.
It wouldn't be much of a sell, because in other words, it's like, you know, I mean, your crew understands that you're in a strange place and you literally don't know how to get home. And if you tell the crew, hey, the Arcane suggested that, you know, they'll give us some information if we do this, so we're doing this. Your crew.
That's what I mean.
From that perspective, they'll be like, okay, that's fine, because that's a reasonable way of getting you. You know, it's a task that has that will presumably get you closer to going home. If you were like, we heard about this other sphere 2 spheres away that has a pirate's treasure, we're going to go there. Then they're going to be like, excuse me, what?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I wasn't initially interested in the thing. It's like, go fight some Illithids to get some money.
Now,
from the start they told us that they could give us information.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the other hand, your crew might have something to say about going up against an entire Illithid empire, but
yeah, that's my major concern with it. That's why I'd probably like to explore the other options first.
Oh,
But yeah, Solas is okay with us taking the Arcane's task.
Yeah. Did it when we were walking around? Did it look like they were more interested in writing in this place from the signs we could see?
I mean, there's a reasonable amount of signage both here and back at the Kobold.
Right. I'm just wondering,
City.
is this more likely to be books?
I mean, you went to the shop that you got the paper from had books for sale.
Ah. Right. Oh, well, Braxon will tell.
Paper books or spell books?
Well, not spell
Spell
books.
are quite different.
Yeah,
Not spell books.
selling...
They were
Yeah,
they were
spell books.
normal non-magical texts.
Spell books are way more expensive than normal books.
I mean,
Yeah,
you'd have
but-
gotten the impression that they're maybe not as literate as Brawl, but they're certainly more literate than you always got the impression that goblinoids were. Whether that impression was always wrong, you don't know. But there's definitely more writing than you would have expected based on the stories about goblins that you've heard.
Braxon is just assuming that's because they're quite peaceful here. And if they're not spending all their time fighting elves and dwarves and humans, that they have more time to spend reading. So, Solas, do you think there is any possibility that books they have for sale might help us?
Everything's always possible, but
Or would you like to come to the bookshop?
well, I would have to know the language to read them, and so I would have to. If that ring of yours allowed to also learn the reading of the language, then I would check if they have any books of the subjects.
From what I can tell, I would have to hear someone who knows a certain language in order to read the books.
No, you wouldn't have to
Well,
hear them. You just choose a person, and if they know it,
Oh.
then it works.
Sorry, okay. So I could only read the books of the people working in the bookshop or the customers.
And if you wanted to continue reading them, if you purchased one, then you'd need to get someone on your ship who can read that too.
Yeah.
But again, like you went in to buy paper, you didn't look at the books, so you don't know what they're all written in.
Most of the books most likely are written in the languages of this sphere.
Yeah. But if they had books on the sphere and they seem like they were interesting to you, I could make. Well, no, because if I learn Goblin. Oh, hang on.
And
If the ring allows me to read languages, Braxton's going to run off at this point, and he's going to look for. He's going to say, "I need a book in Dwarven. Do we have any books in Dwarven?"
Yes.
Because I can speak
Probably.
Dwarven.
Yes, but you don't learn from yourself, do you?
Well, can I learn for myself? Because if I can learn for myself, that means that if I know how to speak a language, I can read it.
Hold on,
Let's
let me
find
look at the text of the item.
Braxton
That
starts
would work.
talking
I
to
would
him.
say no.
I'm inclined to say no because
Yeah,
you
I'd
can't. I
probably
don't think you
pick
can
no.
target yourself.
Someone else could try it.
But
on
and he himself can't read it. So even if he was able to learn the language to speak, how would he learn to read if he can't read it to begin with?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
how does Braxton listen to a goblin and read a sign if the goblin can't read the sign?
How
but
did you
there's-
know?
who
Okay,
says
yeah,
the goblin
no,
can't read
okay,
the
all right,
sign?
hold on. All right, sorry, I was, to be clear, the target of your ring needs to be able to read and write for you to be able to read and write.
Okay,
I was
fair
wrong
enough.
earlier.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. No, that's fine.
So no, you
So
can't
it
you can't
depend-
choose someone who speaks Dwarven but can't read it to then be able to read Dwarven.
Yeah.
So it would have been a
Would have
little
been
bit
too
more. The reading of the signs would have been a bit more randomized when you were walking the streets.
Okay, so that means that
Essentially, what that means is that the
we have to
language skills of other people within 30 feet can be accessed by you wearing the ring.
that means Braxon needs a goblin cohort.
Or at least someone who speaks Goblin.
Hey, Braxon.
Again, this town is more cosmopolitan than the Kobold town.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lafdul.
I'm gonna try and say something the thieves can't. I was like, can you understand this?
No, Thieves' Cant is not a specific language.
No, I was just
I know,
saying
I'm
to
just-
see if we could.
You would realize it doesn't. Thieves' Cant is slang.
I was wondering if I needed to be careful around the
So,
walls.
for example, like you're familiar with Cockney rhyming slang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Call
essentially
Lummy Governor.
what Thieves' Cant is. It's not a specific language, and it would take you a few days to pick up local, regional differences, but in common, it Thieves' Cant is a version of common, essentially.
So Braxton thought he was just talking a load of old cobblers.
Well, I mean, I think you could certainly test that to see if he understands it, but you would understand that it's not in and of itself a language. It's a cant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a code.
It answered. So that's fine.
So, yeah, I mean, if you did try it, then he would not be able to figure that out. He would also not be able to figure out any kind of, like, somatic speech, sign language, or Dro silent speech, or something like that.
That's...
It also doesn't help with... it would help with signaling if someone else knows signaling in a language, but it would not allow you to translate from another ship that's, thousands of yards away that's signaling you. All right, well, we're nearing the end of the session, so how about we figure out what you guys want to do next time? Like, there was talk about visiting taverns. There was talk about, there was a mention of herbs that you guys wanted. You want to try to get some more information about these possible sages in the sphere.
Definitely.
So, like, what do you guys want to start with next time?
I think next time should be the bar crawl.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Paladin dragging Lafdul in there against his wishes.
I really don't want to go there.
If he doesn't want to go, he doesn't want to go. That's fine.
Yeah, if you don't want to go, you don't want to go. It's just, we might need your brain. Can we not get Lafdul to turn into, like, a 1-inch high Lafdul and stick him in our pocket or something?
I mean, once I learn how to polymorph myself, then sure, I would go. But yeah, for now, no.
I mean, you could wear your hat of disguise.
You could wear your hat.
It's not the same.
All right. Okay, so next session, you guys will visit the taverns then to start off with, and then depending on how that goes, you can go from there. Okay, let's see.
Where is my XP?
So that is going to be... 2,000 experience points each.
That was nice and easy.
Yep.
For getting here and taking care of the bat.
Yep.
None for the fighters did anything particular on the bat fight anyway, so...
Well, we did take down a huge monster and sold it for nice profit for the company.
Took
Yeah,
down
I
a
hit it
huge.
consistently with.
You took down a
with,
huge animal, not a
ballistas.
huge monster. It was
Animals can be
just an
monsters.
animal that you chased
Well-
down and murdered.
That's
Hunted.
Is it really murder if it attacks us first? Like all that. That's justified self-defense.
It was running away at that point. It
It
was
was
running
hunting.
away. It was
It
running
was
away.
hunting.
Finish it.
I mean, it's unethical to
It-
leave wild animals uninjured with potentially deadly injuries.
I don't know about that. We could have just got it to run away.
I
But,
love all this justification. It's wonderful. All right,
But
so
it's not like any of us follow. Like, I mean, the only one of us that follow the god of nature is Finn. The rest of us don't really care.
yeah, I mean, if Finn wasn't standing up for it, I wasn't gonna do anything. I was just amused by the fact that it was clearly running away, and you're like, no, we're gonna kill it.
I'm sure we had this conversation a long time ago, and it's like you need to be careful about chasing down like things that are just fleeing from you.
I mean, it's hunting.
Sometimes, yes, you do need to be careful. In this case, apparently not. But
Apparently not.
apparently not. Yeah.
Well, it gave us the ability to feed the local people.
Yeah, you brought in food. You brought in food for the
We brought
goblin
in
town.
food.
Yep.
We brought in food, and they went, "Oh yeah, you're bat farmers. Welcome."
You've never seen
Not
that
exactly.
Oh,
I think they
Also,
understood that you, being in a warship, killed a large creature, and you're just like, hey, well, maybe they want some meat. We can sell it here, kind of thing.
Also, we reduced the supply costs and gained at least paid for the visit to this port.
Oh, I should probably say, did you guys have the meat cooked up for the this day that they cut that
Oh,
the
it's still fresh.
butchers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you probably would have saved like I mean, it's just gonna be so you can basically either add a day's worth of food or just not deduct a day's worth of food, however you want to handle it. It's fine. Some of it would be, you'd probably get some of it dried and preserved and blah, blah, blah. But the meat ended up being, let's see, it wasn't bad. It certainly was no steak.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
Are you rolling a die, or are you just making this up?
I'm just making this up.
All right.
I like that in the chat. Someone earlier said that the monster was sponsored by Bats Go Screech.
Oh god.
I don't know if he'd like it that you killed it though. You know?
Also, you served that it wasn't bad so perfectly it had to be taken.
No, I didn't say bat. I said bad. They're two different words. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great either. It was filling and satisfying. Spices certainly helped. Some of you would probably like it better than Skaver. Or at least other than what?
That's
Night Skaver,
fine.
I think. I think Night Skaver. That's the one that's
That's fine.
delicious.
Possibly.
But it was a bit tough. A little bit stringy. But otherwise okay.
Does Braxon feel like hanging upside down when he goes to sleep?
No. You do think that it would probably make better jerky than like freshly cooked meat.
Right.
So if
So
you
good
ever
for rest.
if you encounter one again, you'd probably want to preserve it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Lever would be more likely to know that, wouldn't she? Because she's a cook.
Or she'd be better at preserving it, yeah.
Well,
I don't know
mean,
that.
She'd be better at knowing that.
Well, I mean, once she eats it, yeah, but she'd never eaten it before. Cook doesn't tell you what something that you've never had before is going to be like, or what you can do with it. You got to eat it first, and then be like, yeah, based on the taste, this is what I would do with it next time.
Yes,
You know?
exactly.
The best thing that she can do with stuff she's never eaten before is know how long she needs to cook it to not be raw and not be burnt. So
So the most important thing.
for your survival, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I want to thank you guys for playing, and we will be back next week. I want to thank everyone out there for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for the game.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for the game. Thanks for the cheers and the sub.
Yes, thank you for the gift sub and all the cheers. Really appreciate it.
Take care, everyone.
See you next time, everyone.